Hello, learners. Welcome back to week 5 of our MOOC. Congratulations on making it this far. By now, you've explored ideas, customers, and validation. This week is a very important turning point because we shift from is this a good idea to is this a viable business? Week 5 focuses on financial and legal basics. And today's session is all about understanding the numbers behind sustainability, unit economics, revenue models, and the critical relationship between CAC, that is, customer acquisition cost, and LTV, that is, lifetime value of a customer. Unit economics describes whether a startup makes money on each incremental unit, such as a customer order or subscription, rather than only at the level of total revenue and burn. When founders understand unit economics, they can choose appropriate revenue models and manage customer acquisition cost and lifetime value so that growth creates value instead of losses. For teaching and entrepreneurial practice, this topic underpins decisions on pricing growth strategy and investor readiness. Meaning of unit economics. Unit economics focuses on the profit and cash flow generated by a single economically meaningful unit, such as per customer per order, per month of subscription, or per active seat in a SaaS product. Instead of only tracking aggregate profit and loss, founders zoom in and ask whether each acquired customer eventually returns more gross profit than the cost to acquire and serve them. In early stage startups, this lens clarifies whether aggressive growth will ultimately become sustainable or whether scaling will only amplify losses. Typical components of unit economics include revenue per unit, direct variable cost per unit, contribution margin and acquisition, or onboarding costs allocated per unit. For digital and SaaS startups, additional core metrics are customer acquisition cost, CAC, that is customer lifetime value, and LTV, gross margin, and CAC payback period, which together describes the health of the growth engine. When these metrics are strong, the business can reinvent free cash into further growth without continual external funding. Revenue models in startups. Revenue model refers to the structured way a startup earns money from its products and services, including what customers pay for when they pay and how prices scale with usage. Choosing an appropriate revenue model is essential because it shapes unit economics by determining average revenue per user bill predictability and the cost to acquire and retain customers. Founders frequently experiment with hybrid models or transitions, for example, from one time licenses to subscriptions as they search for stronger recurring revenue and better LTVs. Common revenue models in technology startups include subscription recurring models, usage based or pay per use models, transactional models such as commissions or take rates on marketplaces, freemium approaches, and advertising supported offerings. Subscription model charge customers a fixed recurring fee, monthly or yearly, in exchange for ongoing access, which stabilizes revenue prediction and improves LTV when churn is managed. Usage based and hybrid subscription plus usage models align price with customer value and have become increasingly popular among the SaaS firms seeking to capture upside a usage grows. Freemium revenue model allows customers to use a limited version of the product for free. Then it is converted as a portion of them to paying plans by upselling premium features with higher limits or better support. This can dramatically lower acquisition friction, and CAC, but it introduces the challenge of supporting many free users while achieving adequate conversion rate to maintain positive unit economics. Transactional and marketplace models earn revenue through a percentage fee per transaction, which ties revenue directly to gross merchandise volume but requires adequate scale and healthy take rates to reach profitability. Customer acquisition cost, that is CAC. Customer acquisition cost is the fully loaded sales and marketing cost required to acquire one new paying customer over a given period of time, calculated as total sales and marketing spend divided by the number of new customers acquired. In advanced analysis team, by attribute CAC by channel such as paid search outbound sales or partner referrals to understand which sources generate the most efficient growth. For investors' discussion, CAC is a core indicator of growth efficiency and competitive dynamics in the startups market. Startups can lower CAC by improving targeting and segmentation, increasing organic and referral channels, and raising conversion rates along the funnel so that the same spend produces more customers. Product led growth strategies that use free trials or freemium tiers often reduces CAC by allowing the product experience rather than human sales. In order to drive adoption through, they must still manage conversion from free to paid users. Over time, investors expect CAC either to decline through efficiency gains or to remain stable while LTV and average contract value increase so that the LTV to CAC ratio improves. Customer lifetime value, that is LTV. Customer lifetime value estimates the total revenue or gross profit a customer will generate over the entire relationship with the company. In SaaS contexts, a common formula is LTV equal to average revenue per account times gross margin divided by the customer churn rate, yielding a forward looking measure of value embedded in each acquired customer. Higher LTV reflects stronger retention pricing power and opportunities for expansion revenue through upsell, cross sell, or the seat growth. Improving LTV typically depends on three levels: reducing churn, increasing average revenue per user, and extending customer lifetime by deepening the product's integration into customers' workflows. Strategies include better onboarding and customer success programs, value based pricing, continuous product improvement, and adding complementary features or tiers that customers can upgrade into as their need grows. Some analysis focus on high LTV subsegments of customers, allowing startups to concentrate acquisition and retention resources where economics are more attractive. CAC versus LTV and key ratios. The relationship between CAC and LTV is often expressed as the LTV to CAC ratio, which compares how much value a customer generates with how much it costs to acquire them. Many investors and practitioners treat an LTV and CAC ratio of around 3 to 1 as a rule of thumb, meaning the startup ideally earns 3 units of value for every unit of acquisition cost. Ratios significantly below 2 to 1 suggest that growth may be value destructive, while extremely high ratios can indicate underinvestment in customer acquisition and missed growth opportunities. Another important metric in this relationship is the CAC payback period, which measures how long it takes in months to recover acquisition cost from gross profit generated by a new customer. High performing SaaS and AI companies often target payback periods under roughly 12 to 15 months because shorter payback allows faster recycling of capital into further growth. When CAC payback lengthens and LTV to CAC deteriorates, founders may respond by adjusting prices, improving sales efficiencies, cutting unproductive channels, or refocusing on more profitable segments. From a strategic perspective, CAC and LTV alignment ensures that scaling up customer acquisition eventually leads to profitable growth rather than simply increasing the burn. Early stage startup might accept temporarily weak units economics while they refine product and go to markets, but they still need a credible path to healthy LTV to CAC ratios and reasonable payback periods at scale. This path is often a central theme in investor pitches and financial modeling, where the cohort analysis demonstrates how unit economics improves for newer customer cohorts as learning accumulates. Unit economics across the revenue models. Unit economics plays out differently under various revenue models because revenue timing and cost structure vary substantially across business types. For subscription SaaS companies, recurring revenue and relatively high gross margins means unit economics hing heavily on the churn and expansion, with LTV rising dramatically when customers stay longer and upgrade over the period of time. Usage based models may experience more variable revenue but can generate very high LTV from heavy users, making segmentation and pricing design central to economic performances. In freemium models, the essential challenge is that free users contribute to CAC and operating cost but not directly to revenue, which makes conversion rate and average revenue per paying user critical for positive unit economics. The startup must carefully choose which features to include in the free tier so that customers experience enough value to adopt but still feel compelled to pay for enhanced capabilities or capacity. Advertising supported model meanwhile depends on achieving large engaged audiences and favorable ad rates, so their unit economics are primarily driven by engagement metrics and monetization per user rate rather than direct payments. Marketplace and platform revenue models rely on healthy take rates and transaction volumes, with unit economics often calculated per transaction or per active buyer seller pair. These businesses frequently endure high upfront CAC to build both sides of the marketplace but benefit from strong network effects and cross site retention once a critical mass is reached. Across all these models, the unifying question is whether the marginal customer adds positive contribution after accounting for acquisition and variable service costs. Now we shall discuss a case study on how SaaS collaboration startup considered a hypothetical B2B SaaS startup called CollabFlow that offers a project collaboration platform to small and medium sized agencies. Using a freemium plus subscription revenue model similar to Patron seen among modern SaaS firms. CollabFlow provides a free tier with limited projects and storage, then sells paid tiers at an average of $30 per user monthly, with gross margin of 80% and an average customer churn rate of 3% per month. Annual marketing and sales spending totals $6 lakh, and the company acquired 2,000 new paying customers during the year, producing a blended CAC of $300 per customers. Using the standard SaaS formula, LTV equals average monthly revenue per customer multiplied by gross margin and divided by churn, which yields LTV equal to 30 multiplied by 0.8 divided by 0.03, or approximately $800 per seat in this example. With CAC at $300, the LTV to CAC ratio is roughly 2.7 to 1, slightly below the often cited 3 to 1 benchmark, but close enough that modest improvements in churn or ARPU could meaningfully strengthen the economics. Collab Flow calculated CAC payback period by dividing CAC by monthly gross profit per customer, which is 300 divided by 24, giving about 12 points, 5 months, aligning with investor expectations for efficient SaaS growth. Management then analyzes unit economics by segmenting and discovers that marketing agencies with more than 20 employees exhibit lower churn at 1.5% and higher average revenue per account because they buy additional seats and premium integrations. For this segment, LTV increases to over $1,600 per account, while the CAC remains similar, resulting in an LTV to CAC ratio above 5 to 1, which significantly outperforms the blended average. The team responds by focusing sales efforts and content marketing on this higher value segment while reducing spend on the small low LTV customers, thereby improving overall unit economics and lowering the time to profitability at scale. Collabflow also optimizes its freemium model by limiting advanced features such as automation and analytics to pay the paid plans while keeping core collaboration features in the free tier to preserve virality and organic acquisition. This change increases conversion from free to paid from 4% to 7% and raises average revenue per paying user by introducing a higher priced tier for agencies that need advanced workflow tools. As a result, CAC remains stable because the product continues to acquire users organically, but the LTV rises and both LTV and the CAC ratio and CAC payback period move into ranges described in the literature as targets for high quality SaaS unit economics.